Genghis Khan, from enslaved young boy to ruler of the Mongols. History is brimming with stories of great leaders, but few are as extraordinary as that of Genghis Khan. His journey from the barren Mongolian steppes and unimaginable adversity to becoming the ruler of the largest contiguous empire in history is an enduring testament to the resilience of the human spirit. This is the story of a boy named Temujin, whose life shaped the course of history forever. Temujin was born into a world of struggle. The vast, unforgiving steppes of Mongolia, where bitter winters and meager resources tested every life, were his first teachers. As a boy, Temujin's life was rooted in his clan's nomadic warrior culture, a lifestyle that demanded toughness, unity, and strength. Yet, even in this brutal environment, fate dealt him a harsher hand than most. At an early age, tragedy struck. Temujin's father, a clan leader, was poisoned by rival Tatars while traveling. This act was not uncommon in an era defined by tribal warfare and shifting alliances. But for young Temujin, no loss would cut more deeply than this. The death of his father didn't just rob him of a parent, it left his entire family vulnerable. Without his father's leadership, their tribe abandoned them, leaving him, his mother, and siblings to fend for themselves. Suddenly, the boy who once dreamed of leading warriors was reduced to an animal-like struggle for survival. With no support, the family faced starvation, scouring the steppes for wild roots and scrapping with scavengers over scraps of meat. These early years of misery planted seeds of resilience and taught Temujin the harsh realities of trust, power, and betrayal. At the age of just 9 years old, Temujin experienced further devastation. He was kidnapped and enslaved by a rival tribe. Here, shackled and humiliated, he saw the loss of freedom firsthand, a memory that would haunt him and shape his ideologies in later life. Yet, despite this confinement, the fire of survival in his young heart never dimmed. Through cunning and unbelievable determination, Temujin plotted and successfully escaped captivity. Running to freedom across the endless expanse of the Mongolian plains, Temujin gained more than just his life back. He carried with him an unshakable resolve that would define his future. Never again would he be vulnerable to such subjugation. Freedom, as costly as it may be, became his guiding principle. Temujin returned to his family, but the road ahead was no easier. At that time, the Mongolian tribes were fiercely divided, plagued with infighting and disunity. Loyalty was fleeting, and survival hinged on the tribe's collective strength. But Temujin saw beyond the centuries-old traditions of fractured clans and personal rivalries. He envisioned something radical, a unified Mongolian people with shared purpose and discipline. As he came of age, Temujin began forming strategic alliances. He married Berta, a decision that was both personal and political. She was not only his life partner but also a bridge between him and new allies. However, even Berta's abduction by an enemy tribe tested his capacity to lead. He reunited meager forces to rescue her, an early victory that would solidify loyalty among his followers. Temujin's alliances were unconventional. Instead of appealing to tribal aristocrats, he won the hearts of common warriors by valuing loyalty and merit over noble bloodlines. With every victory, his reputation grew. The boy who had been abandoned on the steppes was becoming a leader with a vision, though many underestimated him still. No hero's journey is without setbacks, and for Temujin, betrayal came from those closest to him. One of his most trusted allies turned against him, threatening to undo the progress he had painstakingly built. Many would have been consumed by despair, but not Temujin. This new betrayal became another crucible, sharpening his resolve. Moving quickly and decisively, Temujin rallied his forces, recaptured what he had lost, and established a foundation stronger than before. These betrayals taught him that alliances must be built not just on words, but on shared principles and unshakable loyalty. Through his trials, Temujin learned that unity forged through adversity is the foundation of true power. Temujin's victories culminated in a monumental moment, the unification of the Mongol tribes. He brought together groups that had warred for generations, breaking cycles of conflict through diplomacy and sheer will. In 1206, at an assembly of leaders, Temujin was proclaimed Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. This new title signified the birth of a new era, an era where the Mongols would no longer fight each other, but would instead unite to shape history. The transformation from Temujin to Genghis Khan wasn't just a change in name, it was a declaration of vision. Genghis Khan sought not merely to conquer enemies, but to create an empire with shared laws, discipline, and purpose. He introduced the yasa, a code of law that emphasized loyalty, meritocracy, and order. It was radical for its time, holding everyone, from warriors to leaders, accountable. This approach earned him respect, not just fear. With his people united, Genghis Khan turned his attention outward. His military campaigns were defined by unmatched brilliance in strategy and adaptability. Under his leadership, Mongol warriors became the embodiment of speed, discipline, and innovation. He used psychological tactics to intimidate his enemies, often securing victories before battles even began. Yet Genghis Khan's genius went beyond the battlefield. He expanded his empire efficiently by offering peace to those who submitted willingly and crushing those who resisted. This combination of diplomacy and dominance allowed the Mongols to conquer vast swaths of territory, stretching from China to Eastern Europe. Though remembered for his conquests, Genghis Khan was far more than a military figure. His empire became a conduit for cultural exchange and trade on an unprecedented scale. The Mongol conquests opened up the legendary Silk Road, connecting East and West in ways that transformed history. Traders, scholars, and artisans traveled through Mongol lands with relative safety, and ideas flowed as freely as goods. Religious tolerance was another hallmark of Genghis Khan's leadership. Unlike many conquerors, he embraced diversity, allowing people within his empire to worship as they pleased. By fostering a culture of inclusion, he ensured stability across the far-flung regions of his vast kingdom. One of Genghis Khan's greatest legacies lies in his principles of leadership. His belief in meritocracy allowed talented individuals to rise regardless of their social class. A humble herdsman could become a general if he proved his ability on the battlefield. This focus on ability over privilege fostered loyalty and innovation among his followers. But perhaps what stands out most is Genghis Khan's resilience. Time and again, he faced setbacks that would have crushed others, yet he emerged stronger each time. More than his military victories, it was his ability to adapt, to unify, and to inspire that made him one of history's most transformative figures. Genghis Khan's death in 1227 marked the end of an extraordinary life, but his legacy lived on. The Mongol Empire continued to expand under his descendants, becoming the largest empire the world has ever seen. Beyond its borders and timelines, Genghis Khan's influence remains. His journey, from an enslaved boy to the leader of millions, continues to inspire. It challenges us to look beyond the adversities that define our beginnings and imagine the transformations possible through grit, vision, and unshakable resolve. The story of Genghis Khan is not just the tale of a boy who grew to command armies or claim vast lands. It is the story of resilience in the face of despair, unity where division once reigned, and the incredible human capacity for reinvention. For history buffs, his saga is a lens through which we see how the world has been shaped by those who dared to challenge what seemed unchangeable. In Genghis Khan, we find the ultimate underdog, a boy who lost everything yet changed everything. His life reminds us that amidst even the darkest struggles, the seeds of greatness can take root. The legacy he left behind tells us that no obstacle is insurmountable when guided by a vision fueled by purpose and resilience. From the wild steppes to the pages of history, his story endures.